aloud for you from my novella Goddess, Chapter 62. Willow was bent over her statue's block of stone, weeping. Little Stormcloud gazed with tears in her eyes at her sculptor. Lady Venus, Victoria, and Mary surrounded Willow and Little Stormcloud in a circle. The statues glanced at one another, nodded, and stepped forward and placed their hands on Willow's head. Willow's shoulders shuddered with silent sobs. Tears crept down Little Stormcloud's face as she gazed at her artist. They wept their pain. The three goddesses maintained their posture with their hands resting lightly on Willow's head. They bowed their heads, their lips moving silently. They were praying. Little Stormcloud, in the center of this circle, took it all in. Maddie drew near. The statues slowly raised their heads and lifted their hands from Willow's head. Willow remained doubled over, weeping. "Oh, I had no idea," Willow gasped. "No idea at all." Lady Venus nodded solemnly. "We knew, dear lady. And that's why we came," Mary said. "We love you, and we love this little girl," Victoria said. "And only you can finish her and make her whole," Lady Venus said. "Only you have the power from within," Victoria said. Nobody moved, nobody spoke. The statue stood sentinel over Willow and her sculpture, maintaining a respectful silence. At last, Willow's gulping sobs grew softer as she recovered her composure. She wiped the tears from her eyes and rose to her feet. "Thank you," she said. "I had no idea." She walked first to Lady Venus, who bent her face down to the artist. Willow cupped Lady Venus's cheeks and kissed her lips. Then Victoria stepped forward and received her kiss, followed last by Mary, who wrapped Willow up into her arms. Maddie gazed around her, and a jolt of terror startled her. The pitch-black night had suddenly lightened, and when she looked up at the night sky, she saw that it was lightning. She turned to study the horizon, and in the distance, the sky shone with the faintest, earliest glimmerings of morning light. In another hour or so, dawn would crest, and it would be morning. Morning. Had she really spent the entire night flying around from one city to the next, clambering on top of monuments, gadding about with statues and suicidal sculptors? Truly, she had. Victoria's gaze shifted to the horizon as well, and she nodded. "We must not tarry. It is time to go." Willow was composed now, calm and quiet. She walked up to each statue. "Thank you," she said to Lady Venus. "Thank you," she said to Victoria. Mary was the last statue to accept a thank you from Willow, and as Willow stepped forward, Mary wrapped her arms around Willow's shoulders and drew her in close. Willow put her head on Mary's shoulder and sobbed, and when at last Willow drew away, Mary gazed into Willow's eyes for a long moment. Then, with her long, elegantly tapered fingers, She traced a silky thread across Willow's cheek. The outline of a star. Willow's eyes shone bright. Mary spoke gently. Truly, it is I who should be thanking you. You have done more for us this evening than we could ever say. You've saved us more than we've saved you. Without artists like you, statues like us would not exist. Willow took Mary's hand in hers. She kissed it tenderly. You live inside me. Surely, Mary said, for your heart beats in mine. Willow released Mary's hand and walked over to her statue. Maddie looked to Lady Venus to see if she had any parting words for Willow, especially as she'd been the one to embark upon this journey tonight. But to her surprise, Lady Venus remained silent, standing apart from everyone. Don't you want to say a parting word to Willow? Lady Venus started, so Maddie knew she'd sensed her words, but she did not speak, not even into Maddie's mind. Odd, after all the work she'd set out to do, with the entire journey beginning with Lady Venus at the fountain late yesterday afternoon, didn't she want to connect with Willow one last time? But no. Lady Venus glanced at the horizon and nodded. Ladies, it's time to go. With every passing moment, the night sky faded. Streaks of blue, then green, then crimson, cast their rays out across the ending night. Very soon it would be dawn. As if driven by an internal barometer, the statues turned as one and walked slowly, yet with purpose, toward the chariot. Willow dried her eyes and darted back inside the barn. My tools, she muttered. I need to find my tools. Maddie stood in the barnyard, torn between the retreating statues and little storm cloud. The girl turned her head to Maddie and smiled. Thank you, kind lady. You have saved me. Tears filled Maddie's eyes. Willow walked out of the barn, laden down with tools and purpose. She strode toward her statue. Maddie walked over to the chariot. She glanced over her shoulder one last time and saw Willow on her knees, crouched in front of little Storm Cloud, running her elegantly tapered fingers across the little statue's face. Little Storm Cloud gazed at her mistress, a look of love brimming in her eyes. They spoke softly to one another as Willow set to work. It's all right, she said. She'll be fine now. But how do you know for sure? But Lady Venus did not answer.